Freemasonry is the best kept secret in the Christian town. Even Freemasons themselves, the large majority, are ignorant of Freemasonic teachings. So when you're approaching a Mason, when you're approaching the issue of Freemasonry, you're going to be dealing with the problem of ignorance. However, once educated, the Freemason is faced with Christ or the Lodge. And I hold that you cannot be a Christian and an informed Mason at the same time without being in some kind of rebellion against Yahweh. Why? First of all, there's some preliminaries. Christians affirm, and it is universally true, transculturally true, transchronologically true, that the biblical God is the only true and living God. And in Jesus Christ, we have the self-revelation of God in space and time. And Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. In order to become a Freemason, you must affirm belief in a supreme being. It matters not, according to Freemasonry, what your individual deity is. But you have to say yes to the question, do you believe or affirm in the existence of God? If you say no, you're out. You're blackballed. And they really do have white and black balls and take a vote. You must believe in a supreme being. And it doesn't matter what the supreme being is. It can be Krishna, Allah, Brahman, Vishnu, God in quotes, etc. Now, Freemasonry will take these men who believe in different deities, even the Christian men, bring them into the lodge, and in ritual, and this is key, the canon of Freemasonry are rituals produced by grand lodges themselves. So they will take these men who believe in different deities and pray to the great architect of the universe, and each Mason silently reads his God into the great architect of the universe, a canopy God known as the great architect of the universe. This God is prayed to in lodge in collective syncretistic fashion, and this is detestable to Yahweh according to the scriptures. One prayer, for example, in the first degree, they pray to Almighty Father of the universe and grant our present convention that this candidate may be, by the pure principles of Freemasonry, better enabled to display the beauties of holiness to the honor of thy holy name. This is theology. Almighty Father of the universe, a prayer of sanctification for the candidate, no matter what deity individually this candidate believes in. And yet, the Christian is there, potentially the Muslim is there, the Hindu is there, the Unitarian Universalist is there, and they're all praying to the great architect of the universe for the sanctification of the candidate. So, in the lodge, we have the great architect of the universe, and he is prayed to in a syncretistic fashion. Secondly, the lodge, the Masonic lodge, takes all these men who believe in different deities and through the ritual gives them a way of salvation. And Jesus Christ is not in the picture. For example, Freemasonry takes the working tools of actual Masons. They build stone walls, cathedrals, etc. Takes the working tools and invests them with salvation and other forms of theology, universalistic type theology. The lesson on the common gavel, I'll quote it verbatim from ritual. As operative Masons, they use the common gavel to break off the rough and superfluous parts of stones, thereby fitting them for the builder's use. But we, as free and accepted Masons, are taught the more noble and glorious purpose of divesting our hearts and consciences of all the vices and superfluities of life, thereby fitting our minds as living stones for that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens, that spiritual building. What is going on here? Here's the scenario. Men representing different deities, the lodge saying that in the common gavel, in this lesson, by the teachings of Freemasonry, we are chipped off and fitted as living stones for that spiritual building, that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. But if you look at 1 Peter 2:5, Christians and Christians alone are called living stones. Christians and Christians alone in 2 Corinthians 5:1 and following have the hope, only have the hope in Jesus that we will be fitted, that we will come to that spiritual building, that house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. How dare the Masonic Lodge wrench these two biblical texts from their contexts, and apply them to those who reject Jesus Christ? And Jesus isn't even mentioned in the ritual. This is why Freemasonry is a non-Christian cult and is directly opposed to the gospel of Jesus Christ, and especially tied with the gospel, the purpose of the incarnation of the blessed Son of God, Jesus the Christ. Finally, in the third degree, the candidate plays Hiram Abiff, a Masonic hero. Hiram, historically, they say, was slain by 3 ruffians in the temple, and he was raised by King Solomon with the strong grip of a master mason. Symbolic of the candidates now, the candidate playing Hiram in this death and burial and resurrection scene, symbolic of the candidate identifying with the death, burial, and raising of Hiram Abiff. And in many a Masonic ritual, we are taught, or candidates are taught, to imitate the great Grand Master Hiram Abiff, that we too may achieve immortality.